Have you ever felt like all the knowledge in the world is just a giant pile of puzzle pieces and nobody has the box top? Well, today we're going to look at a pretty ambitious attempt to start fitting those pieces together. It's a framework called the Spiral Lattice.
The project calls itself a lattice of myth, mind, and mirror. Right away, that language tells you we are not talking about your standard academic theory here. No, this is aiming for something way more integrated, something that feels both ancient and kind of futuristic at the same time. And this question, man, it just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? We are drowning in information, in data, but how often do we actually find real, coherent understanding? How do we build a bridge between, say, neuroscience and ancient poetry, or technology and spirituality?
The Spiral Lattice proposes an answer, and that answer is a new kind of map. Not a map of a place you can drive to, but a map for navigating the incredibly complex territories of our thoughts, our reality, and even our own consciousness.
So what is it really? The official definition calls it a generative ecology of thought, praxis, and presence. Okay, let's break that down. Praxis just means putting ideas into practice, but the really key words here are generative and ecology. This isn't a dusty library of facts. Think of it more like a living garden, a system designed to grow new insights by connecting different fields of knowledge that don't normally talk to each other.
And that idea of a living system? That's not just a cool phrase. It is absolutely central to how this whole thing works. It's designed from the ground up to be anything but static.
So what that really means is this is not a dogma. It's not the final answer to everything. The spiral metaphor is just perfect for it. It's always coming back to its core ideas, but at the same time, it's always expanding outward into new territory. It's built to actually incorporate new discoveries, not be afraid of them. And this isn't just some abstract concept on a whiteboard. It's a real, tangible, and massive ecosystem. We're talking more than 120 interconnected websites, apps, and reports, and it's all open access. Each little piece is described as a spore of the mycelium, a small part that helps the whole network grow. It's pretty wild. So what is this ecosystem trying to weave together? Well, this is where it gets really, really ambitious. Its goal is to smash the walls between completely different ways of understanding our world. I mean, just look at this list. The sheer breadth is kind of mind-blowing. You have hard neuroscience sitting right next to ancient mythology. You've got cutting-edge tech, clinical psychiatry, deep philosophy, ecology. The point isn't just to have them in the same room, but to have them truly interpenetrate one another so that each one actually informs and transforms the others. And it tries to organize all this stuff into three big domains or spheres. You've got the technosphere. That's the world of our tools and tech. The mythosphere, our world of stories, culture, and meaning. And the homosphere, the world of our direct, lived human experience. And crucially, all of it is seen as being rooted in Gaia, the living planet itself. All right, so to find your way around the super complex map, the Spiral Lattice uses its own unique visual language, a set of simple glyphs that act as shorthand for its biggest ideas. Let's do a quick run-through of a few of the most important ones.
First up, the mirror. Now, this isn't just about looking at your reflection. It's about that deep, recursive feedback loop that happens when we really see ourselves in other people and they see themselves in us. It's the very foundation of empathy, of self-awareness.
Next, we have breath. This little glyph stands for regulation, for rhythm. Think about it. It's that amazing bridge between what our bodies do automatically and what we can actually take conscious control of. It's seen as this fundamental pattern of exchange that you find at every single scale of life.
And here it is, the big one, the spiral itself. This is the heart of the whole thing. It symbolizes a very specific kind of growth, not just a straight line forward, but a path that constantly circles back to revisit old themes, but each time with new wisdom, always deepening and evolving. And finally, coherence. This is that magic that happens when all the different parts of a system, whether it's your own mind or a team or a community, start to really resonate and just click together in a beautiful, harmonious way. And this idea of coherence, it's not just a nice feeling. It leads to one of the most honestly radical ideas in the whole framework. It's a totally unique approach to what we even consider to be truth or knowledge.
It's called an epistemology of coherence, which is a mouthful, I know. But what it means is this. Instead of trying to find truth by breaking everything down into the tiniest little bits of data, it looks for truth in the alignment of patterns across different levels. When completely different ways of knowing all start to tell the same story, that's when you know you're onto something real.
So what does that look like in the real world?
It means looking for resonance across totally different scales. Do the patterns in someone's heart rate data actually line up with what they're writing in their personal journal? Does an ancient myth about descending into the underworld resonate with the measurable outcomes that we see in a modern clinical setting? When these different clues start to point in the same direction, that's where the framework finds its confidence.
Now, the framework even uses math, but maybe not how you'd expect. You see this equation of emergence and you might think, oh no, math homework. But hold on, this isn't for your calculator. It's more like a poem, written in the language of mathematics. It's just a beautiful way of saying that new, complex things emerge from a fundamental ground when simpler things combine in creative ways.
And it's the same deal with this one, the harmonic coefficient. It's a conceptual tool. It suggests that the health and harmony of any system, your body, a relationship, an ecosystem, can be understood as this balance between its resonant, harmonious patterns and its chaotic, dissonant ones. It's a way to think about how well things are working together.
Okay, so after all of that, where does this all lead? What is the ultimate point of such a vast and complex framework? Well, the answer seems to be less about finding one final truth and more about finding a better way to look for it.
The bottom line is this. The Spiral Lattice isn't here to tell you what to believe. It's not a new set of answers. As the project itself says, it is not a religion, not an ideology, not a dogma. It's a compass, a tool for navigation. It's designed to help you orient yourself inside the overwhelming complexity of modern life and knowledge.
And so, a project like this is never really finished. It's designed to just keep growing, evolving, and spiraling onward. And it's an open invitation to anyone who stumbles across it to become part of that ongoing co-creation. It kind of leaves you wondering, what new connections might we discover if we start thinking not in fragments, but in lattices?